Welcome back, everyone. Next episode of Three. What'd you say? What? Three dudes in their 20s, featuring me, Will, Adam. I'm Adam Tobin.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm the king, bro. Don't act like I'm not the king in this place right now.
Willie G.
Hey, who the hell we got here?
And then it's my buddy Brent Miller.
Oh, hey,
I'm Brent Miller.
It's Brent Miller. Brent, man, how you doing today?
Good. I'm also a guy in his 20s.
Are you serious?
I'm also a guy in my 20s.
Bro fits right in.
Wow,
I am.
look at that.
I am.
Wow.
So Brent, where are you from? Like, what's your story?
I am from Adam's alma mater, St. Mary's, Ohio.
Not Brent's alma mater, Adam's alma mater.
Adam's alma mater. You're more familiar with him.
Yeah, well.
I'm from there originally. Well, I was born in St. Mary's.
Yep.
Raised for a couple of months in New Knoxville, tiny little town.
Oh, I know where New Knoxville is.
Oh, you know where New Knoxville is.
Main Street in New Knoxville.
Main Street,
Street.
New Knoxville.
Shout out to Brianna for Main Street, New Knoxville.
Main Street in Knoxville.
That was smooth.
That's a story. It's a story.
So then I born and raised in St. Mary's all of my life until I moved to Findlay for college. Oldest of three siblings. I've got a brother and a sister, 14 and 16. Getting into my last year at Findlay. Have worked in a bunch of random jobs growing up, but mainly within the funeral industry. How Adam and I really met was through the band in high school. Adam played tenor drums, and I played snare drum, which is just the single one. I have a great passion for music, although I don't think it's something that I'll ever be able to do really professionally because I'm not that good.
Okay. That's all right.
And it's sort of a casual thing. I really thought growing up, born and raised Buckeye, so I thought, okay, I'm definitely going to go to Ohio State.
You did talk about that for a while. I remember.
I did.
Yeah.
And Ohio State has a thing called summer sessions with their band. So if you're a high school student or you attend any of the regional Ohio State campuses, you can go do summer sessions with the band, which is a 10-week program where they pretty much prepare you to try out for the Columbus band. Mm-hmm. And I did that between my junior and senior year. I will credit them with really teaching me how to play. It's sort of a sink or swim environment. Like you get thrown in and it's on you to keep up. You just, a lot of the current band members also attend that just as sort of like a practice, and I'm going to keep up with, what we're doing this year, and pretty much just it's also practice for them. Mm-hmm. So you get to go practice with the people who are in the band there. Not that they don't give you any special attention. It's they're the front lines people, and there are. I'm trying to think of how many extra people were on the snare line. Maybe 15 to 20 kids there. You can go any age in high school, and if you are attending an Ohio State college. And they really taught me how to play because you just you stand behind them, and they, like I said, not giving you any special attention. It's you either figure out how to keep up, or you sink or swim. Yeah. So it was really great to go and watch these. It's mainly guys on the snare line who are just so good, miles ahead of what I was at the time, but really taught me how to play and helped stoke that music passion that I have, especially for drums. I really thought at that point, okay, I'm going to Ohio State. I've got to try this. But it gets to my senior year, and I did a couple of college tours. Your high school lets you, go once or twice a semester or whatever, and you get a free day off, and you get to go tour a college campus. So I went to Ohio State. I went to Toledo. I went to several of the larger D1 schools, and I thought at the moment that that's what I really enjoyed. But then my roommate that I lived with for my freshman and sophomore year of college, shout out Austin Boley, he was signed to the University of Findlay on a golf scholarship, and his girlfriend went there as well. She just recently graduated, I believe, with her master's degree. Super smart. She also played in the band with us. Shout out Joe Schmidtmeyer. Shout out Joe Schmidtmeyer. And he tells me, I wasn't even that close to Austin in high school, But we had a couple of classes together senior year, and he tells me, Brent, you have to check out Findlay because I need a roommate.
That's the only reason.
I said, and he goes, and the application's free. And all these other schools that I applied to, the application was, $60, $80, whatever. And I said, okay, Austin, I'll do it because the application's free. So I did that. I went on a visit, and they really made it feel like home. I is the best way I can describe it. It felt like a small community of people who really cared about you. Mm-hmm. Like you weren't just going to be a number. Like there were things to participate in and be an active scene member. Sort of like what it seems like here. Yeah. And when I've heard about you two, and anytime anybody around here says something about Adam, it's, man, you do everything. Yeah. It's super visible. And I thought that it would give me a little bit of a better opportunity to try and make a mark on the community rather than just being milled through and, okay, now where do I set my life up? Mm-hmm. So I went in originally as a physical therapy major or pre-physical therapy. This will sort of tie back into the whole funeral industry thing. Growing up, I never felt a super strong call toward the profession, and my dad always told me, never feel like you have to do this, because there are a whole lot of family businesses, especially within the funeral industry, where it is just family run for generations. And he never wanted to put that pressure on me. He said, and would remind me frequently, don't ever feel like you have to do this. It can always be something you do on the side. You come back and help whenever you can. So I figured, okay, well then I'll do something else. And then I'll focus that on, some other time, or I'll be able to do it on the side, whatever. Right. That's what I went in thinking. So then I get through my first year of college, through the science stuff, and I figured, I just don't really enjoy this stuff. I'm not passionate about it. So I had a conversation with my parents and several mentors over the summer about, what do you think I should do? I'm at this crossroads in my life where I don't feel like I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I feel a passion for the funeral stuff. I began working there a lot more towards the end of my high school career, but I didn't have the heart to tell my parents that I loved it or really commit to it, because the message to me was always, don't ever feel like you have to do this. Mm. So
in a way, they're kind of trying to push you away.
A little bit. And I wasn't sure how to bring that up with them, that, hey, this is something I love this. I love being able to affect people in a positive manner, help them through these stages of grief in their life and the understanding of, you're losing a family member or a friend, and being a person there that can help you through that process. Felt like I had a good enough feel of, okay, this is how the scheduling works, and if I don't do something in my spare time, all I'm going to do is nap every afternoon.
Yeah, that's
kind
of what I've been feeling. Not this year,
that is.
Last year and stuff.
I don't know what a nap is, bro.
You literally just woke up.
Bro, it was like a 2-minute nap for real.
2-minute nap.
No joke. No joke,
like
bro.
It.
I go to sleep. I literally go to sleep. 2 seconds later, this guy calls me. Hey, we're filming right now. And I was like,
we got to get this done.
Okay.
We got to get it done.
It's one of those things where I felt like I blinked and I was like, oh, Tobin's calling me. I got to go.
It was probably more.
My
roommate, it was not a good nap.
Shout out to Ronnie. Goes, Brendan was trying to ask you questions about the NFL games tomorrow, but you weren't paying attention. I was like, oh, dude, I must have been out then. He goes, dude, yeah.
So I changed my major, and like I said, I figured, I know if I don't do anything with my spare time. My first year, I did take a decent amount of naps.
Must be nice.
And is that in the afternoon, if there is a 2 or 3 hour time block where I'm not doing anything, I find it very hard to motivate myself.
Right. If you have nothing else to do.
Right. I'm going to go sit back in my room. Maybe I'll get some stuff done. No. Nap. Every time. And at that point, I figured, okay, I need to get a job, because if I don't, I'm going to waste every single afternoon 5 days a week. So
Not many people take that crash. That's why I purposely try and plan a class after lunch.
Right. So you have something to do. It's I can't go sleep. I can't go lay down. Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I asked around is there a better funeral home in the area? Is there a which one's the big one in town? Which one should I go try and get a job at? So I get some advice from some of the people that I worked with back home, some people in town, and I just sort of call this place up and say, hey, I'm a sophomore at college, here in town. I was raised in the business. I'm looking for something part-time. Do you have any open positions?
They're like, yes, please.
And
a young person wants to come in here?
And actually, the median age of a lot of the funeral directors is only getting older. There are not a whole lot of young people getting into it. There's a very strong need for good embalmers right now all over the country. So I get in there, and I asked them back home growing up, I did a lot more of the I never was on the paperwork side. I was never in the office. It was always pretty much the manual labor side of things. So I asked specifically about, hey, is there any way that I can learn a little bit more about the paperwork side? And they have given me that opportunity. So, and a little bit of everything else. I also, one thing that I love about the funeral industry, and I'd also like your opinion on this, is the variety of the job. There are so many things as a director, especially if you're at a smaller place, that you are able to do. Like Adam and I over the last couple of summers, mostly we focus on setting headstones. We get to go out, we get to load headstones on this truck, we get to go out and set them in the cemetery. It's not just inside a building, working all the time, doing the same thing over and over. There's a lot of moving parts. There's setting up for services, tearing down, you help set up flowers, just general cleaning. Like there's also a lot of paperwork, but we don't have to be involved in that. There's cremations, there's the headstone stuff, there's just so much that there's a good variety, and that's something that I really enjoy about it. I'm not sitting at a desk all day. I'm not sitting in a cubicle, just doing the same paperwork over and over and over. At least there is, it's like today there might be 2 funeral services, and that's all that we do today because they take a while, and you're also, you're dealing with families, you're helping get things set up, tore down. And then other days, we might have 2 or 3 days where all we do is go set headstones. So there's a good portion where it's outside, you're getting to talk and interact with people, you might be parking cars, you're opening the door, you're helping these people get in and experience the entire. I've also heard some people describe, like as a funeral director, you're pretty much an event planner for the dead. It's like you're really just planning. It is like an event to celebrate, to help the grieving process, process the grieving process. And that's pretty much what you're doing as a funeral director. Now
sounds like a killer party.
I haven't heard that one before.
I just saw that one.
I don't think I've heard of that.
That was pretty good.
Bad party's never gonna die. Like that joke will never die. All right, continue. Sorry.
So one of the there even though there are repetitive tasks, there's also a lot of, okay, well today I don't even have to do some of that. So like I get to do something completely different. So that's something I really enjoy about the industry as a whole, is the variety. So, and then I wanted to know what your take on that was, if you had any opinions on that.
Yeah, answer the question.
I definitely agree. I mean, I have my favorites and least favorites. For those of you that don't know, a lot of people that go to Defiance don't even know I worked at a funeral home or do like the EMT ambulance stuff back home.
Yeah.
He's weird.
So it's kind of, it's probably kind of weird for everyone to hear me talk about it and to see you here. But like I got involved with it right out of high school when him and his dad asked me to join and help join. And literally that entire summer was, just clearing stuff out. And I did that stuff with, my uncle when he flipped houses years ago. So like it didn't even really feel that much different. And that entire summer, that's pretty much all it was, just clearing out houses and stuff. And here and there we do like some lawn work too, like cleaning the branches, trimming branches on the trees and weeds and stuff like that. Like it didn't even really feel like a funeral home job the first summer I worked there. And then, sophomore summer, it kind of turned into, more of the, getting ready for funerals and the preparation that goes into it and everything. Obviously, we're not certified to do the embalming yet. That's what you're going to school for.
Yeah.
And I thought about it at one point, but even though I'm able to do it, I don't think it's for me. But I'm always, going to be around to help when I can.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I, made clear over the few years, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely agree with you. Like this year and last year and the year before that has been completely different. Like you said, like last year was just setting headstones, and that's completely different than what the job was right out of high school. Like it feels like two completely different jobs and everything. And I guess for my job, no matter what it is, I want to make sure it's something I love, something that can support my family, and something that has a variety, I think that's kind of why I chose PT. It does all three of those. I'll see a variety of different patients every day and everything. And Will, you want to go into teaching? Like
I hate kids.
How am I supposed to teach
child? Yeah. This is the most important year of schooling in this kid's life. This sets them up for the rest of their life. You're gonna have me in charge of that.
Yeah.
Heavens no.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, dude, no way. I could never do that. Your mom's a capital S saint for that. Yeah, that's real.
Capital S saint, I like that.
There are a lot of lower S, lower, like low. What's the technical term for that? Lowercase S saints in the world. There's not many capital S saints.
Teachers are underpaid, man.
They are.
Anyway,
pay my mother more. Lima City School District, please. Please pay my mother more money. Thank you.
Shout out the Lima City School
District. Do not shout them out until they pay my mother more money.
Never mind. Let's shout out Michelle Miller.
Shout out Michelle Miller and Salina City School District.
And Salina Garlock.
Michelle Garlock. Oh, Michelle Garlock.
Michelle and Michelle.
That's my mother, isn't it?
Let's go.
Michelle Square.
Hey, your mom's got a great name.
At 1 L or 2?
2.
My mother is 1. Maybe. She always has to say she's like Michelle with 1 L. I don't know why.
I'm Will with 2 L's.
That's Willie Quasi.
I'm Miller with 2 L's.
Bro, that's crazy. No, because there's literally
He's also the second.
I am also. My dad's name is also Brent. I have the same name as my father.
Okay, that's gonna fire. My kid's gonna have my kid is gonna be a second. Yeah. He's gonna be you'd be a junior then, right?
Well, no, I literally have the Roman numeral 2 after my name.
But yeah, junior.
You're technically junior then, right? Because your dad's the first.
I mean, technically.
People at the funeral call him B2 or.
B2 is crazy.
Yeah, people call me B2. Yeah, like B2.
They don't call you Brent Jr.
There's only one person in my life that actually calls me Junior, and that's one of my uncles.
Really?
Yes. He just
Martin.
And he's
right?
Yes, that's Martin.
Odd flex, but okay.
Yeah,
Martin.
he just I prefer to be called like Brent II or B2 or there are some people that call me Junior. And now it's Brent IV is in prison for life.
Well, guess what? Hey, if you're around to see Brent IV go to prison for life, you lived a great life. All right. So
maybe.
I mean, that's a great life if you've seen Brent IV go to.
So you're scared of someone ruining the family name almost.
A little bit. I am.
Raise them right. Shouldn't be a problem.
Exactly, bro.
Well, but what about my kid? Yeah, but I can't choose how my kid raises their kid.
Hey, you know what? You leave it in the cards. I will have a Will Garlock II. Pause.
So
it's every time I've ever done it.
To tie most of this in together, what I feel passionate about is helping people through their time of loss, or also sort of the end of life emergency stuff. I also went through EMT school the second half of my senior year of high school, and Adam did. Was that your first year of college?
First year of college.
Yeah. First year of college. And what we learned there is to be an emergency medical technician, a basic emergency medical technician, which is 2 steps down from paramedic, but paramedic school is way longer.
Yeah.
So that is also part of the family business. My one uncle he's been a paramedic for almost 40 years, and some people, they sort of think it's a weird, like, you're getting them right at the end of life and then it's going into the funeral home stuff. And there are people that look at me a certain way or our family a certain way because they think that it's some weird connection in there.
I know what you mean. Like you're trying to sell one.
Right.
They think you're doing one to try to sell
the other.
That's stupid.
And what has always been conveyed upon me within my family and everything that I have seen. It is so much more about a passion for caring for people when they need help, whether it be those end-of-life situations or emergency medical situations. What we care about is trying to make sure that we are there when you are in your highest need, because there are not a lot of people that can help with those specific situations. Through how I was raised and the things I was shown growing up, the level of comfort that I feel with that, and knowing that this is something that I feel confident in my ability to help these people through a tremendously difficult time in their life. That is what always has been conveyed upon me, whether it be the ambulance stuff or the funeral stuff. Because people need help and they need guidance and they need support during those moments of their life especially. So that's really where I find my passion at, and what makes me, it's sort of what makes me tick. What makes me feel like I am having an impact on my community, a positive impact on the people that I get to interact with. Because it's crazy, and Adam can vouch for this. My dad will go, I always went to the grocery store with my dad when I was younger. We were the ones that went out and got groceries. And it would always be about an hour to an hour and a half affair of going into Kroger and making our way around, where now as an adult and being in a city where most people don't know me, I can get in and out in 20, 25 minutes. I never realized that he goes into the grocery store and these people that he knows, he'll ask about, how are mom and dad doing? Or how are you doing since, so-and-so?
That's real.
And as a kid, I never understood that. It was just always, we're going to the grocery. It's going to be an hour, hour and a half. And both my father and the other to healing through those situations.
Mm-hmm. And I think, the amount of people your dad knows is crazy.
It's insane.
Like going anywhere in St. Mary's, even out of St. Mary's, like the amount of people, he knows is crazy. But that's the thing, like it's not about what connection. It's not about the connections. It's just about the people you impact, and in that business, people remember that at their lowest times, And that's kind of what made me think, like, all right, I personally think that physical therapy is my best way I'm going to give back, but it really, hit at home. I've had a lot of people pass away in my early lifetime and everything like that, to where, like, it's a childhood memory. I'm sorry for Millers, but I went to my family. I'm sure, when people are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they have someone pass away, they remember who helped them through that, and who took their family seriously and did the best for that family.
Yeah. So I also wanted to ask, do you have any questions about, think there are any common misconceptions or from not being a part of?
Because we're both indulged in the funeral.
Yeah.
Someone on the outside.
How awkward is a cremation, bro? I feel so weird. I feel so bad.
What do you I'm
literally putting somebody in a Star Wars time outfit, right? Yeah. So what's going on with that?
So cremation as a whole, if you're really curious about it, I'm sure that there are plenty of YouTube videos on.
I'm not watching somebody.
I don't blame. So the cremation process for most people.
I'm with you too. I might, but no.
There are several types of funeral services, or ways that you can do it. So you can have, like a regular, what most people think of as a traditional funeral service, is somebody dies. A couple days later, you have a live viewing of the person in a casket.
Which that's so weird. I don't know why we do that as humans.
And then you get buried in a cemetery. Yeah. That is what most people think of as a traditional funeral service.
That's expensive, though.
It can be.
Very expensive.
Yes.
Which is why the alternate option comes into play.
So cremation has gained a lot of popularity over the last decade, even the last 3-4 years. all of the old timers in the industry will tell you that they never thought that cremation would get to be as big as it is even right now. My dad would tell me when the cremation stuff was just getting introduced, it used to be 100% traditional funeral service. I mean, that was the only option available. And then the cremation stuff comes along and it starts creeping up 10, 15% of services. And he never thought it would cross the, I can't remember if it's a 70-30 mark or the 60-40. He never thought it'd be more than 30 or 40% cremation. Within the next 5 to 10 years, most state boards are predicting that cremation will be between 60 to 80% of services. So back to your funeral service packages. You've got that traditional service, and then you could do like a cremation service where the person does not get embalmed, and they're called direct cremations. So there's nothing done to the body, just that it is cremated and then put in an urn, and then you have like a funeral service, but it's just the urn.
Yeah.
Or you can have sort of a mix of both where the person is embalmed and then you have a viewing of the person in a casket, and then we will take them out of the casket or use a cremation casket. And there are specific caskets.
What?
There are specific caskets designed to be cremated with the person. They're much cheaper and all completely combustible.
But you don't have to.
No.
There's different options.
Yeah, there are certain government regulations and stuff with that, but most of the time, I don't ask me why. I don't know.
Dead, bro.
And then so you can have a viewing, and then they can be cremated and buried or whatever.
Okay.
Or you can just take the cremation. You don't have to be buried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some families don't even pick up their ashes. Like
there's a lot of. There's also
ashes, which is
Now there are some.
And what do you do then?
They just sit at the funeral home for years and years and years.
Are you serious?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is sad.
Sad as hell, man.
But I am personally a supporter of being buried. It doesn't matter if you are cremated or not, because I just think, like, personally to me, I'm not a huge fan of grandma gets cremated, we bring her home, and then she sits on the shelf next to the TV for 20 years, and then.
So weird.
But there are a whole lot of people that do that.
Yeah, my grandma wants to do that. And I'm like, I probably won't.
I know my mom did that with our dog that passed away, and
the dog.
And pets are very important to people.
Later on, I know eventually when we get buried, I'm just gonna get buried right next to her,
right?
Whoever,
So, out.
The bone is a lot of what the ash is.
I don't like death.
Not many people. Most
like
people
dead
don't.
Bodies. I don't like blood.
There will be a disclosure before watching the video.
I don't like any of this stuff. Okay, so if you saw a couple of my reactions, you're like, wow, Will's kind of a child. You're right. I really am.
It's a serious episode.
It is.
Like
Didn't think it's what I was signing up for today.
There are so many people. There are a whole lot of people that will ask me about what I do, or me and Adam about. They're like, tell us a little bit about this or that. And then I don't know if you get these same reactions, but so often it's, man, I would never want to do that. I'm so glad that I don't have to do that.
You have no idea. I'm thinking that the entire time I hear you guys talk. I'm so glad. Like I could never do it. I could not.
But that's where I feel like I can affect people positively the most, because I have the stomach and the comfort and familiarity to be able to do it.
Yeah. That's crazy though. I could never do that.
So,
but then it's kind of weird too, and people ask you like, well, what do you do? It's like, well, how much do I really want to tell them?
Yeah, how much, like how under the surface level can I really get? And it's not usually very much. It's just very, like, most people, like, the word cremation does not get people worked up. But if I go into it like that,
if you explain it, I'm like,
there's a lot
right.
worse things we could talk about.
It's like it's like, okay, well, I do funeral stuff, and usually you can leave it at that, because then people are like, well, people know.
Yeah.
But it's not. You're not making them think about all of this other stuff that comes with it. So I mean, it really takes. People also don't understand the power of cremators. They think it's like if I put you in the middle of a big old fire that I make, it'd be fine, like you'd be gone. No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, like now, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. It's really hot and really concentrated. Yeah. And that's what it takes because the human body is so incredibly resilient. Shout out human body.
Shout out us.
Shout out us. Shout out us. God did.
Shout out you guys too. God did that for real.
But yeah, that is it's a very common. Not people don't know much about it. People don't want to know much about it.
Nope, hell no.
So that yeah.
You have B2. Do you have anybody you want to shout out?
B2.
We have this camera, that camera, the camera behind you, the camera under our table, or the only camera we actually have that works is right there. Shout out to the people.
Shout out my dad.
Shout out to the people. Shout out to anybody you want. And where can people find you? What can they do?
Really, my biggest motivators are our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Praise the Lord. My wife, Lydia. You know who you are.
I'm trying to figure out what this guy's boyfriend's name is. You know,
This guy's.
I don't want a boyfriend.
I would be nowhere without my family and my faith. Where can people find me? You can find me on Instagram at Brent_M, or is it Brent.M? Maybe underscore. Who gives a shit?
We'll put it on there.
You can find me at Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at NextJoshDunn. All I do is on
What?
X.
Thank
on
you.
X.
Oh, Elon
Shout out Elon.
Shout out Elon.
Really called X?
Yeah, it's X.
Yeah, it's called X now.
Wow.
I'm on there as NextJoshDunn. Shout out Josh
Rock
Dunn.
Granddad.
You can find me on Facebook.
Okay, Granddad.
LinkedIn. Hey, if you have any questions about setting up a pre-arrangement, get it done now. You put away $2 a month for the rest of your life. You have no need to worry about your funeral services. Shoot me a message on LinkedIn.
Probably Instagram.
Maybe a little more than $2 a month. I could be exaggeraring there, but not much. Not much.
That's how old you are.
Not much. Not much.
Save you a lot of money in the future.
Where else am I? I'm not on social media much. I hardly post anything ever. So you can follow me places, but you will not see much activity from me.
You will not follow him. Actually,
There you go.
you'll be just following.
You'll put yeah. They'll put all the links on.
We will.
I don't have a website.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Brent Miller, EMT, funeral associate.
So
Dude's got a lot of titles out here.
Associate.
Dude's kind of sweaty.
Dude's
kind of sweaty.
Shout out Brent Michelle, my parents. Shout out Wilfred and Helena, my grandparents. Shout out John and Carol, my other grandparents.
shout out.
And
Hit the sub.
shout out Adam and Eve.
Hit the subby.
Shout out Adam and Eve. We're all
I know
here.
Adam.
We're all here.
Who's Eve? Who's Eve? I know this guy. I know this guy. All right, stop laughing, bro. It's not funny. But Tobin, you got anything else to say?
Thanks for coming on, man. It was a lot of fun. You know.
If you can't tell, Adam is one of my best buddies, and he was also in my wedding.
I'm not worried about it.
BJ, we really appreciate you hopping on here. We really appreciate you hopping on the pod with us.
I love you guys.
We love you too. Hey, you're welcome back whenever you want. You can come on the pod whenever you want, man.
Maybe for some lighter conversation.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but hey, you know what?
But this is what I was here to share. This is what I was here to share.
We had fun though. So for myself,
Adam
the
Tobin.
Tobinator, Grant Johnson, who's not here again, dude decides to walk out in every show we have.
Hey,
Go to med school.
the third guy in his 20s. I was able to fill in today.
He got our back, and B2, BJ, whatever you want to call him. Junior.
The second.
It's gonna end up being the second, legitimately being the second, because there's gonna be a third soon. You never know. We want to thank you for wasting your time again on tapping into another episode of Three Dudes in Their 20s. Have a good night, evening, morning.
Whenever you're listening.
Yeah, whenever you're listening, watching, whatever you want to do. I hope you had a good day and a great night, and we'll see you next time.